All right, we're gonna get started. So my name is Tyler. This is Kendall right here, and we have Brett over here. And they're gonna talk about whatever you want to talk about Fort Hays today. They have some topics ready, such as res life, academics, time management, getting involved. But if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask them, and feel free to ask anything.
Great, thank you, Tyler. Well, welcome. This is kind of like a talk show right here. So we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Brett Brenner. I am the Director of Transition and Student Conduct here at Fort Hays. So I get to work with all of our new student orientation and transition programs. So my goal is ultimately to make sure that your transition to Fort Hays is as smooth as possible. So Kendall, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Kendall Garrett. I'm originally from here in Hays, Kansas. I'm going to be a senior next year, majoring in organizational leadership with a minor in communications, so I can kind of answer some of those areas, but I've taken a lot of other classes, being undecided my freshman year, so I've taken quite the variety of classes. So, yeah.
So to all of our participants out there in the internet world, if you do have any questions, please feel free to ask them as we go along. If not, we're just going to kind of jump right in. We do also have a couple of admissions counselors here. We will have both of them introduce themselves when we get towards kind of the end of our talk show here. So, Kendall, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about why you decided to choose Fort Hays State?
The big reason for me was I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I thought close to home. I'm very family-oriented, and this college is very family-oriented for sure. Cost-wise was a huge thing for me. My first year of school's already paid off, so that's awesome. I'm a little less in debt because of that. And I also ended up knowing, like, the majority of my class does, like, Hays kids do come to Fort Hays, at least for the first year, so I knew I'd be comfortable knowing people, but I actually ended up not hanging out with any of them and meeting a whole bunch of friends. So that would be my main reason.
So, Kendall, coming from Hays, what was one of your biggest fears coming into college at Fort Hays State?
I guess just not finding the classes, but after I went to the Tiger Crawl during Impact Week, you realize it's so easy to find your way around the buildings. They're numbered by floors, and just learning the buildings, there's not many. You look at your schedule now and you're like, oh, I know exactly what building that's in, and I know where that's at, and most buildings are circles or squares, so it was really easy.
Awesome. Do we have any questions from out in the internet world? Well, we will keep on talking with Kendall here. So, Kendall, tell us about did you always know coming into Fort Hays that you wanted to be an organizational leadership major?
No. My original plan was to only be here for a year and then transfer to some school that I could do the PT program of some sort. Kind of did some entry-level courses into that here, and just not for me. So I actually went through the career explorations process, with the academic advising office, and they actually helped me pick organizational leadership, even though I already had a scholarship from them, because Jill Armstrong had reached out to me during freshman orientation and things like that, but I knew that's where I need to be after all that process of working with Nikki.
Awesome. So can you talk to us a little about what are some of the ways that you've gotten involved now that you've been here at Fort Hays State?
Freshman year, I actually didn't do as well as I thought I would have. I really had to push myself to get involved in organizations. So what I did more when I actually got more involved in campus, or how I got more involved in campus, was actually taking the back-to-school picnic more seriously and looking at when organizations are having their first meetings and going and checking some out. Found that some worked for me, tried one, did it for a year, was actually a treasurer in the organization, and then just, again, found out it wasn't me, gave it a shot, that's okay, and then now I'm more involved in the orientation process and loving it, meeting so many great people, and actually looking at a career in that now, so super excited about that.
We like to hear that. We like to hear that. So Kendall, when you think back, it's about your transition from you went to Hays High School, right?
Yes.
So what do you think was, talk about the academic transition. What was it like to transition from high school classes to Do you remember what your very first class was at Fort Hays State that you walked
I know
into?
one of them, and it was happened to be an upper level course. I don't know how I got in it actually, but the teachers, they're willing to help you, but they're not going to seek you out like your high school teachers do. They're there to help you, but you have to seek your own help. I think that's the biggest thing I've learned is having to go to the Kelly Center and use the tutors and setting aside that extra time for those math classes that I'm not so good at and spending that extra time doing the homework and doing it over and over and to get the grades I want, to have that GPA where I wanted and things like that. That would be the biggest change for me because Hayes High teachers they were great. But they treated us like babies. Like they were on us all the time about homework and getting assignments done, and that just doesn't happen here, and that's just part of growing up. Though.
So your freshman year, did you live on campus or did you live at home?
I lived at home.
So what was it like being a commuter student, and what were some of the maybe I don't want to say challenges you encountered, but lessons you learned being a commuter student your freshman year?
Take early classes, so parking was the biggest thing for me. Especially when I had like a 9:30 class, there's not a lot. That's something you guys should know now since we are now missing a parking lot in the Memorial Union, but they have added some, so that's helpful too. And they have the shuttle bus now, which that would have been really helpful my freshman year, I think, because I know there's a couple times I had to park over at Cunningham and kind of sprint to Rare Hall and 3 floors up. I was really winded by the time I got there, but that's okay. That was, I think, the biggest problem. But the other thing I noticed is I wasn't as involved. You really, being an off-campus student, have to get yourself involved. There's not as many opportunities or the reminders that there's all these activities and clubs and hangouts that you can go to when you're in residential halls or just even living near the campus. I don't even live near the campus.
So what would be some suggestions for first-year students who are living at home or commuting to campus to take it? How should they take advantage of those opportunities to get involved?
Definitely watch the homepage. There's always stuff up there, like big events that are going on.
You mean the FHSU.edu homepage, right?
Yes. Watch that Fort Hays homepage. The big banner changes with different things that are going on all the time. When you're walking in your buildings, check out that poster route. There's going to be posters in every single building that has activities going on, things that you can do. Even throughout the community, there's things on those boards that you can do. I think that would be the best way. And then just a lot of teachers will ask in your classes if people are in clubs, if they have any announcements or anything like that. Definitely listen to those announcements that your students are making in class, your teachers are making in class to help you get more involved in your departments or just area of interest.
We'll pause for any questions from our audience members who are watching this live. If you're not watching this live, well, you get to still hear from Kendall. All right, so Kendall, let's talk a little bit about part-time jobs. So during your time at Fort Hays, have you worked on and or off campus at part-time jobs? And kind of tell us about that, how you found those jobs, and kind of what it's like to balance schoolwork and involvement as well as life and a part-time job.
It has to take a lot of organizational skills. When I came into school, I was actually still working my high school job at Whiskey Creek, but most of the people that are hiring in the Hays community know that their employers are going to be college students. That's just a lot of our community is the college students. So they know how to work with them really well. I haven't had any issues ever with any job that I've ever had. A lot of times it's just applying online. So if you think you want a job somewhere, maybe check out their website, walk into the business, ask if they're hiring. I still work 2 part-time jobs off campus right now and through the school year, and then in the fall, I don't know how I do it sometimes, but I keep those 2 jobs and then also have a campus job. It keeps me really busy, but it's only in the fall. It's only 10 weeks, so I kind of just push through and have no social life for the first 10 weeks of school usually, but that's really okay because my campus job is actually in the academic advising office doing the majors and grads fair, planning, doing all that, so that only really is about 10 hours of my time, and I can usually do it between classes, which is nice, and then either work every other day at campus jobs, evenings, weekends, off-campus jobs, evenings, weekends, things like that, because campus is only open until 4:30. So, but doing it, you have to keep your schedule organized, set a time, don't work past a certain time. Like I try not to work past 8, if possible, so I can still have plenty of time to study. But I usually have an 8 to 8 day schedule, which I like because it keeps me busy, keeps me out of trouble, keeps my mind busy. I mean, I just am a busy person. I don't sit well, and you may notice that. But I just like to be up, moving around, doing something. So.
Yeah. And there's a part-time job for during Tiger Impact Week, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we.
I don't think I've ever been to it.
We usually see around 30 to 40 on-campus and off-campus businesses and departments who are there. Last year we saw 300 first-year students come within the first 15 minutes of the part-time job fair. I know today we just added 3 or 4 more places today, so if you're looking for jobs at Bath and Body Works and Maurice's and IHOP, all 3 of those off-campus places just signed up today to be at this part-time job fair on Friday, August 19th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So
I can tell you I've worked just about everything in Hayes, like restaurant to retail. I work at Hayes Med now. I work at a gym. Like
Hayes Med will also be there
Hayes
at the part-time job fair. So
Hayes Med has a lot of awesome part-time jobs, and since they're never closed, you know, there's always hours. So that's a great place to work if you're looking into healthcare.
How many hours would you recommend that a new freshman student work?
No more than 20 to 25, I would say, because that's about what I'm working, and it's a full load. Mm-hmm. It's a very full load.
Because on average, how much time do you spend time studying? If you're in the classroom, if you're in classes, let's say you're in 15 hours a semester, academic hours, how much time do you spend outside of actually being in the classroom?
Not as much as I probably should, but it will be, you know, as soon as I get home from work, I'll be probably up till 11:30 midnight doing some sort of assignment, trying to keep up on assignments I maybe have to do the next day, but do later in the week, get started on something like that, because processing is really, really hard at 10 o'clock at night.
I can imagine. So, Kendall, you're from this area. How do you maintain those connections with your family members and other friends from high school, or, you know, anything else kind of while still experiencing the 4-day state experience?
I don't currently actually hang out regularly with any of my high school friends, but we all still like have a group text, or we'll meet up at least once a month to go out and do something, whether it's dinner or if we just have a ton of homework, we'll all just come and sit together and do homework in the library or something. We actually just had a few of us graduate, so that'll be even trickier to try to figure out how we'll get together more. As for my family, we, you know, still try to find time to do dinner every so often, or I just call my mom or FaceTime my mom to talk to her, and then my dad will just chime in because he's not much of a talker, but that's just him, you know, so that's okay. And as for my sister, she's actually here on campus, so I see her when I can. I'll go over to her house as much as I can, you know, help her with things. She helps me with things, and just really using the technology we have. Even though I'm from Hayes, I don't see my parents every day. My mom and I actually work at the same organization at Hayes Med, so we get lunch together sometimes if we can, if we're working, or just little things like that are the best thing you can do, especially if you're not from the Hayes area but are from close. If you can, you know, try to go home on the weekend for a dinner or something.
Great. So we now like to open this up. Part of this is a new student hangout. We want you all to connect with each other and learn more about each other, as well as ask Kendall questions. So Kendall is from the same geographic area that you all are in, going into your senior year. So we'd love to open the floor to to our other members of the hangout here, and just kind of, it's your opportunity to. I will roll out of the frame here, and I will let you all chat with the star of the show here, Kendall. So.
Wait, is my mic working?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh, I couldn't tell.
Well, do you have any questions?
Yeah, it's college hard.
Is it hard? Well, it's hard work. You'll find classes that you enjoy more than others. That's just kind of part of the college experience. I know I enjoy my major classes more than I enjoyed some of those gen ed classes, but I don't think I've had a bad teacher, really. So I've always enjoyed having teachers, and the people in my class make it easier. But it is going to take some work, I'm not going to lie.
Like, do I actually have to study? Because in high school, I never studied at all. I didn't have to. I passed every test without it.
We talked about that.
Yeah, no, you're gonna have to study. Tyler said he'd chime in on this one too. I know school didn't come easy for me, and I didn't have to study in high school either, but I definitely have to study in college.
What's your name, man?
Deontay.
Deontay. So I don't think I studied once in high school except a couple times for AP tests, and I got all A's. And I came to college, and right off the bat, I definitely didn't come close to getting all A's. And I think the adjustment is that the classes aren't necessarily more difficult. You just have to put a lot more time into them because you're spending less time in the classroom per week, so you have to be able to put in those hours outside of the class.
Okay.
Really how to balance your school life and that social life now that you're going to be kind of living on your own without, mom and dad's rules.
That's what scares me the most.
And no, that happens. So that's just something you'll learn. Some people do it the hard way. Some people, just naturally adjust to it. But it'll get there, I promise.
Like last night, a friend, they sent me like 3 straight messages. It said grades, sleep, and social life, pick 2. And I said, well, I'm picking the grades and the social life because all throughout high school, I only slept like maybe 4 hours a night.
Honestly, don't need sleep. But that's okay. I think you'll start enjoying sleep a lot more in college, that's for sure.
Isn't that what class is for?
No. Not what class is for. Class is actually really important because a lot of teachers will put things that they say in the classroom that maybe weren't on the PowerPoint or on the board in their test. So you gotta watch for that key stuff that they say.
All right, I'm scared now.
No, don't be scared. It really is not. It's really not terrible. I'm enjoying college a lot more than I enjoyed high school. And I enjoyed high school, like I was very involved in high school. But you can do the same things here.
Wait, but is there like a speech